What's up, world? This is P.SO checking in with Nerd Era, where nerd culture reigns supreme. This is my spoiler-free, quick-fire review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Apes on horses with machine guns. Alright, let's get right into it. First thing I want to talk about is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I love that movie. I think it's a phenomenal film. I think it's a 9 out of 10 science fiction fantasy epic, and this is coming from someone who didn't really even care about the original Apes franchise. Like, I remember watching it as a kid thinking it was weird, never really got into it, so I was never excited for this new installment of the new Apes franchise. And I gotta say, the last one, Rise, was amazing. So let's talk about Dawn. Now, in Dawn of the Planet of Apes, we have our main character Caesar beginning and starting this new ape culture. And I have to say, I love how this movie begins. The beginning of this film is really, really, really awesome. You see apes hunting animals in the forest, and they have this culture. You see Caesar with his wife and his kid, and just the family and structure they have and the community they have in the apes is really, really awesome. And I love how the movie introduced this in the first 15-20 minutes. You don't even see any humans for like at least 20 minutes into the film, which I thought was really, really clever and well done. Let me talk about Andy Serkis real quick. Andy Serkis, for those who don't know, is the motion capture actor who plays Caesar from the Apes franchise. He's also played Gollum for the Lord of the Rings franchise, and he's helping out Mark Ruffalo play the Incredible Hulk in the new Avengers films. So this guy is really, really synonymous with modern day motion capture. He kind of defines it in a lot of ways. So his portrayal of Caesar in this film, once again, is phenomenal. I want to go on record and say Caesar is probably my favorite animal character in film. You know, like, just all together, I think over King Kong, whatever animal character you like, I think Caesar is the best. He's just so cool. And this movie kind of defines that a little bit more too, because you get a lot of great Caesar moments. So yeah, props to Andy Serkis and his portrayal of Caesar. Let me talk about something I don't like about the film. It's just too long, and it has too much character development. So I know I already mentioned how the movie did a good job of establishing the family and culture structure of the apes, but then there's so much of it, you know, and there's so much character building, and then when you introduce the humans, it gets a little bit stuffy. And you know, with the over 2 hour long running time, I feel like they spent too much time trying to develop the characters and trying to develop everything. I think I just wanted more action, and I think they could have shaved a good 20-30 minutes off of this movie, and it would have been just as good as the first one. But overall, the great overall arc and the great overall storytelling is really good. It just took too long for us to get to the point in this movie. Another thing I didn't like about it was that there wasn't enough Gary Oldman. I love Gary Oldman. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's a great casting choice for this type of movie. I just think that they didn't give him enough screen time. I mean, he was in the beginning, he was in the end, and like that was it. Like, there's a whole long stretch of the film where he's not even in it. And I just think that, you know, I would like to see more Gary Oldman. Jason Clarke, the main human protagonist, is actually one of my favorite things about this film, coincidentally, because I really didn't like any of the other human characters. Like, even Oldman, like, there just wasn't enough to really like about any of the human characters. But the main one, guy, Jason Clarke, is good. I would have preferred if Franco was in this movie, but you know, we got Clarke. One huge positive thing I have to say, and this is totally nerd out: apes on horses with machine guns. Alright, so if you want to see apes on horses running around with machine guns shooting at people, you're gonna get that in this movie. And that is probably one of the greatest things. There's just this huge set piece where there's fire and there's horses and there's guns, and it's really, really great. I really kind of wish that scene that I just told you about was towards the end, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but it isn't. So once again, I felt like the movie was just a little bit too long. Overall, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's not as good as the first one, but it's not a complete failure either. I'm definitely still excited for another ape movie. Hopefully they do like 4, 5, 6 of these movies, because I want to see the future of the ape planet, and getting back to the original ape films where basically apes ruled everything and humans were just slaves. So I kind of want to see if we eventually get to that point, and that kind of seems like where we're heading. But yeah, altogether, if you want to see a great film, if you like the first one, definitely go out and see This one, the highlights of this film is Andy Serkis as Caesar and apes on horses with machine guns. What else do you need? Alright. It's P.SO checking in with Nerd Era, where nerd culture reigns supreme. Peace.